Right, yo, what's going on, boys? Today I'm going to be ranking every single weapon starting from epic and above. So all of these weapons I'll be ranking today. I guess let's just get straight into it. Okay, so we will be starting from bottom to top. So what I think is the worst epic and what I think is the best epic. In my opinion, I think Ninja Blade is the worst epic in the game because it's got decent damage. The ability is pretty mid, I'm not gonna lie to you. In most cases, you'll just end up swinging into someone and it'll probably get you killed. The swing speed is pretty good though. So that is, in my opinion, the worst epic in the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, the next one I think is the Buster Blade. I think the Buster Blade used to be the highest DPS in the game. Not DPS, but highest damage per swing in the game. It does good damage per swing. And the ability's pretty, I don't know, pretty mid. But it's got slow swing speed, decent ability, but the ability sometimes misses enemies. Like, let's say there were 3 enemies there. I guarantee it would usually only hit like 1 or 2. But yeah, that is the second worst in the game. Let's go on to the next one. Alright, so the next one is going to be Forged Steel, which I think is definitely not a bad weapon. It does pretty decent swing damage. But I think the ability ruins it. Like, it does a little stun. They don't get stunned for that long. And your damage doesn't get boosted that much, but you get slowed like fuck. Like, I don't know, I just don't think it's viable to use. And also the swing speed is pretty slow. So it's probably not worth using unless you're using one of the better ones. But yeah, let's get into the next one. Okay, boys, I'm hiding behind Bruce here just so you don't see the weapon because it's quite a surprise. Well, to some people it won't be, but it is going to be the Dragon's Heart. I think the Dragon's Heart it's definitely not mid, but it's definitely on the lower end of like decent. The damage is pretty good. It does pretty good flame damage as well, but I think the thing that ruins it is the ability. Like, yeah, you can do quite a bit of damage, but realistically, you're not going to be able to get that damage off. You're going to have to literally sit right next to the enemy, hugging them, to be able to get that off, and a lot of people can't do that. So I think, in general, this is definitely not even close to being one of the best weapons in the game. But yeah, let's get into the next one. Okay, the next one's going to be Infested Blade, and I think, not gonna lie to you, people thought the Infested Blade, like, even after the buff, pretty shit. But I think it's actually decently, like, you probably wouldn't use it because the swing damage is pretty bad still. Like, quite a few of the epics out damage this, but the ability is pretty decent now. It does probably, I'd say, what is that? I don't even know. Like 15 damage every time. Mixed in with that, I think it's just more viable than the Dragon's Heart. You could use it definitely better, especially when like duoing, trioing. You put this on, slow all the enemies down. And yeah, just slow all them down, make sure everyone gets hits off. And I think it would, it's not, I don't think it's viable to use, but it's more viable than the rest of the list that I've already said. Let's get into the next one. So here is the start of A tier. I think the bottom of A tier is the Shadow. It's definitely not bad in any way. I think it's got pretty decent attack. It can inflict poison, which is W. Does pretty decent poison damage as well, 11.4. I think it does 10% of what you actually hit with your swing. And then the ability is what really makes it. 45.5 poison damage. That is crazy. And then whilst you're hitting them as well, you proc that other poison. Or I think it's just very viable compared to the rest that I've already named. It's definitely viable to use. If you have this and you don't have any of the legendaries level 2, definitely use this. Mine is currently level 4 at the moment. So I mean, only level 4, and it still does pretty good damage. Like, look at that. 114 plus 45, that's like, what, 160, and then plus the 11, that's like 170 damage every swing. Crazy. Alright, let's get into the next one. Okay, the next best weapon on this tier list, I think, is the Sandstorm. For some reason, it does a lot of damage, 165, which is absolutely crazy. For a weapon which swings this fast, obviously it's not swinging fast, but it's swinging faster than the heavy hitters. This would be an S tier, I'm not going to lie to you, this would be an S tier if the ability was better. The ability is pretty mid. Like, I don't think you'd be able to use that and be able to profit enough off it. But yeah, it's definitely way better than the Shadow, purely just because of this swing. If you did want to use this, you would have to be good at dodging. You'd have to know when to dodge, how to dodge, everything good like that. 250 crit pretty much. That's crazy. Alright, on to the next one. Okay boys, the next one is the Royalist, which I think might be the highest damage like per swing in the game. 200 damage, nearly 300 crit. Absolutely crazy. The only thing which ruins this could be an S tier if the ability was better. The ability's fine. It makes you go invisible and they can't see you. But it's only for 3 seconds. Like, 3 seconds, that's barely anything when you're actually in a run. You know, you activate it, 3 seconds goes by, instantly, bang, done. But it could definitely allow you to get those final hits off if you need those final hits of a boss. Or even like a Guardian or anything like that. But yeah, definitely very good weapon. I would recommend using it. If you kind of know how to use these heavy weapons. Because obviously it swings very slow. But yeah, let's get into the next one. Okay, now this, in my opinion, is the best epic in the game. If you have this weapon, then definitely use it. It's the Nightmare Blade. The Nightmare Blade is very, very viable, very good. Insane attack speed. Doing 200 crit at level 5. And the stun is amazing. Even though it does no damage, it's still very viable. This is a viable weapon to solo Nightmare, Nightmare World 1. Definitely, you could definitely use it for heroic Ancient Sands as well. It's an insane weapon. But yeah, very viable weapon, very fast attack speed, great stun. I would say don't use it maybe if you've got it like under level 3, maybe, but it wouldn't be too hard to get it above that. But yeah, I think that is the best epic in the game. I don't think you can even debate it, honestly. I don't think it has any flaws really, except from the fact this does no damage. But it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, let's get into the next one. Okay, and it's going to be the Golden Hand. I think this weapon has the highest potential damage in the game. Purely because the attack speed, very fast. The attack damage, very good. Like a 120 and it's only level 2, pretty good. And now this is the highest potential ability in the game. All of these can spawn with all these like passive abilities, not abilities but buffs that enemies spawn with. And they deal half your damage and they have half your HP. So this guy has strength, I think that's I don't know. I think that's like defense, and then that's poison as well. But they can have the max stats possible. Like, look, this guy's like, holy shit. This guy's got defense. I don't know what this one is. I don't know what the green one is. I mean, the yellow one. Holy fuck! Wait, what? Yeah, I don't know what the yellow one is, but yeah. Obviously, whilst you're hitting, they're all going to be hitting as well. Bang, 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 bang. The only bad part about it is the cooldown. The cooldown is like 20 seconds. Yeah, 25 seconds. But once you get recovery on it, you'll be sorted. And also, you can't go out of their reach, or else they'll start dying, as you can see. But yeah, I think this weapon's very good. Definitely use it if you have it level 2. But I wouldn't use it if you have any of these other weapons that I'm about to name. Because they're just definitely better. Right, let's get into the next one. Okay, now this weapon, the Imperialist, I think is the best. Well, it's the 3rd best weapon in the game. It has pretty... Like, I'm not going to say it has good damage. It's got pretty mid damage. But this ability can hit up to 9 enemies. So when you're in a room full of... Let's say he's an enemy as well. Let's say he's an enemy. Let's say he's an enemy as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you can still hit one more on top of that. So it could go... Bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, I could hit all of them. And it boosts your walking speed. So if we just test my walking speed right now. Pretty slow, right? Like, I'm not walking too fast. But then if we activate this, it buffs it massively. I think that's over double. Like, it's actually crazy. This is a very good weapon. It's not much of like a boss killer, but for the rooms in between bosses, this is definitely really good. And also 95 damage each time, and they get stunned after as well, which I think is one of the crazier parts, is the fact it stuns as well as hits so many enemies. But yeah, let's get into the 2nd best weapon in the game. I think we all knew this was coming. Solar at number 2. It's just the highest DPS in the game. The best boss killer in the game, 100%. That literally cannot be argued with. It is definitely, easily the best boss killer in the game. The best run is probably 2 Stellars and a Solar. Just because... You just look at the damage, like, holy shit. It just does insane damage, and it does pretty mid attack damage, I'm not gonna lie, like swing damage. It doesn't do great swing damage. But it's just the ability. It just makes and breaks it. It doesn't break it, I mean, like, it's definitely very, very good ability. Let's get into the first... Well, the best weapon in the game, in my opinion. Okay, and the best weapon in the game, as you could guess, is Stellar. I think Stellar is easily the best weapon in the game. Like, and it's so clear. It hits up to 4 enemies. And it does 40 damage times 4, so what, that's like 120 damage. And you can swing, so it stuns them as well. So if you're playing duo, or trio, then whilst you're doing that ability, they also get swings off, which then adds even more damage onto it, as well as your ability damage. It is genuinely, it's a viable boss killer as well. It's crazy. But yeah, that has been my tier list. If you want me to make a tier list on armors, then I definitely will. It won't be as long as a video, but I'll probably do all of them since there's not that many in the game. But yeah, that's been me, boys. Holy shit. But yeah, that's been me, boys. See you in a bit.